Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this. We are creating concepts and projects that are incredibly interesting. Don't worry, I'm now recording, you're okay. Let me just answer a couple of questions that were in here that I think it's pretty important for you to know. First thing, let's see. Anna said, good concepts, it generates good concepts, but the whole thing needs to be cleaned up for high marketability. I think that's often the truth. Often it will overwrite. And if you were writing it yourself, you would write it a different way. All I do on those is I go through and just select the parts that I like, pull them out, put them in a Word document or an email or whatever program you're working in, and then write it the way I want it. And that's just, again, you're the writer. AI is just your assistant. So it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to give you the things you need to think outside the box and ultimately to be a great writer. Tom Wilson said Claude.ai, wouldn't accept his kidnapping concept. Depending upon how you put it in there, sometimes you have to say before you put it in there, I'm writing a screenplay. Like if we're doing one of these prompts that doesn't have those words in, if the AI you're working with won't accept that, then just make sure you make it really clear you're writing a screenplay. Say that first, go to a new window, say that, then put the prompt in. And usually you're fine. And if that doesn't work, then go to a different AI. But I'll tell you, sometimes you just open a new window and it works. Just open a new chat. All right. Okay. So let's now jump to the next part. Now that we have concepts that work, and characters that work, and we spend a lot of time on characters, now it's time to go to the transformational journey. So let's just talk about this for a moment. What the whole purpose is here is to show the growth and change of the protagonist and ultimately the audience. Remember, we are presenting a character the audience can go on this journey with. But the other part is a strong transformational journey usually will sell the movie in a trailer. So your job is to make it interesting and compelling, right? So that's what we're going to do. Make it compelling, fulfilling for the audience. And what this does is this will cause a lasting impact, create some buzz. It also instantly has producers see that this is something they can sell via a trailer. So here's the prompt that we're going to use to create a transformational journey. Please create a transformational journey for this genre, concept, and my protagonist. By the way, if you have something that you think would be challenging to it, like a kidnapping, started out by saying, I am writing a screenplay, period. Please create a transformational journey that has a beginning and ending and a series of internal and external challenges. Those words are really important. A lot of times people will have, depending upon their genre, like if they're writing a drama, they will have a lot of internal challenges, but almost no external challenges. If they're writing an action story, they'll have lots of external challenges and many times no internal challenges. We wanted to create both. And those challenges will force the protagonist out of their comfort zone, which is what you and I are experiencing right now also, and ultimately challenge them to the core. Many times these challenges will come from the antagonist. Give me a chronological series of bullet points. I put this in right here because I want you to be able to basically make a story from it. And so if it's in a chronological sequence, it's going to make it easier for you to then just lay it into your screenplay. Now, Here are the pieces of information you'll need: genre, concept, protagonist, antagonist. And by the way, when you do this, like let's say you just came up with an idea and you just wanted to create a transformational journey, and you've got these, right? You know what your genre and your concept is. On your protagonist and your antagonist, you might just put one sentence, right? You might put the role. This is the character who's running for mayor, but is being blackmailed at the same time, let's say. And the antagonist this is the blackmailer who needs this money in order to, get his daughter an operation or something. Or maybe your antagonist just evil. This is the guy who was bullied by the protagonist who has decided to make the protagonist's life total hell, whatever it is, right? You could do it in a single sentence like that, or you could use an entire prompt, or excuse me, an entire profile. I'm going to do profiles, so hang on just a second. Okay, so remember what we're doing is creating a transformational journey for this character. I'm going to go up and create a new chat. And then I'll put in all my information. Here's that prompt. Let me get all of this out of here just for a second. Here's my answers to the question, including the protagonist, the two protagonists, and the antagonist. So let's do this. So remember, what we're doing is asking it to create a transformational journey. Now, if you take a look at this, and I'm not going to read the whole thing right now, this basically forms a structure. Now, it's not the exact structure, but it's how the transformational journey goes. It's got a beginning. It's going to give us internal and external challenges. Then we go to a midpoint, then a crisis, then a resolution, and finally an ending. What this will do, and this has been my experience of this, is usually I'll go, okay, some of these are really good. Some of them I'd leave out. And then every once in a while, there's something brilliant in here. But at minimum, I can read through it and find basically a transformational journey that could turn into a story. So this is what I want you to do. And don't worry if it gives you less than this. Sometimes it's more precise, but this is going to give you enough for you to be able to see a transformational journey, at least a version that AI gave. By the way, one last thing. If you don't like it, then you look to see what do you like, what don't you like, and then come down here. And this is how you would do it in real life and say, please do it again with X, whatever that is, with this change. Please do it again and make it way more difficult for Evie. Please do it again and have the love story begin at the end of the first act, or whatever it is you want. And that way, you actually get to modify it the way you want. Now, for the moment, don't do that. All I want you to do is just, lay out this thing and watch it create your transformational journey. So hang on, let me get this for you. Okay, so here comes transformational journey prompt. So go ahead, put that in right now. Let me give you 3 minutes on that. I don't think you need that much information. You already have your protagonist, your antagonist. Just go get them, put them in there. You have your genre and your concept already. Just plug it in and you're there. So I'll give you 3 minutes. We'll talk in 3. Come on back, everyone. Oh, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. And it says, very good. We'll be making changes to my script. Good for you. Good for you. Because the only time you're making changes is because it improves something or you found something new or unique. That's excellent. I'm so happy to hear that. And by the way, that's part of the job is searching. And while you're searching and using AI, it's going to cause your creative mind to be more creative. So this is a worthwhile exercise, as well as the information you get and the breakthroughs you have and all of that. Let's do the next one. Hang on. So we actually have two more to do. Hoping we'll finish by 9 so that everybody can go to bed in time. Here's number 6. What's the best audience, comps, and budget? Now, again, with everything with AI, nothing's going to be perfect. However, what I do think that this does a great job of is getting you prepared to talk with producers. So when they ask these questions, you at least have some kind of answer. Let me say one thing about this. This is important. When a producer asks you something like budget or comps or audience, they aren't looking for you to be perfect. Like if you told a producer, if they said, what do you think the budget is? And you said, oh, it is 11,254,000. They would laugh because that means you went out and got somebody to do a budget that wouldn't necessarily be the same as theirs. And I know that because I did that. I've asked a whole bunch of producers about this, and really they just want to know what the range is. So my answer, like the last project we were pitching was a low budget contained movie. And the producer asked me what I thought the budget was. And I said, depending upon actors, I'd say you could easily do this in the 1 to 2 range, 1 to 2 million. You add in some decent actors and it might be around 4 to 5. That's all I said, right? Now, I have no evidence for any of that. I'm just making that up. The producer went, all right, okay. And then we just started talking about the next part. It's like all they want to know is, are you in the range? If I would have said, oh, I think this might be a $50 million movie, that producer would have probably stopped talking to me right then. Not because I'm wrong, but because that was not that producer's range. They didn't do $50 million movies. They did $1 to $5 million movies. So both of my numbers were in their range. It made sense in their world. Okay, so there's 2 reasons to know this stuff. The first is this: you focus your script on the best audience and budget range. This means once you've decided who the audience is and the budget, you are writing for that, right? So great comps provide a shorthand for recognizing how to sell a movie to an audience. So both of these are causing me to make decisions as a writer and giving the producer information that will help the producer understand it. So here's the value. Comps help the producer know how to market the movie. At one point, we had optioned a book that was on vampires, and this was back, we optioned it right before Twilight came out. And I'm pitching to producers, and I said, we have the book optioned, it's already a bestseller. And the producer said, who do you think the audience is? And I said, it's the same audience that is going to be watching Twilight. Now, the producer already knew how they were marketing Twilight to that audience. So the producer just instantly went, okay, I know how to sell it. right? It was like instant. And the reason why, again, was because I gave him a comp that had him see how they marketed the movie. Because you need to know, producers know how movies are being marketed. They're watching this all the time. And when you see a movie that is marketed in a unique way and it blows up, every producer and their dog is going to be thinking about how to do that same thing. Audience is who you write to. And it's who the trailers are going to be geared towards and the group that the marketing budget will target. This is incredibly important. If a producer asks you who the audience is, never say everyone, because that means you're going to write a generic script. They won't know who the trailer is geared towards, so they won't be able to actually create it for a particular market, and they won't know where to put their marketing budget, right? By saying the words everyone, you just wasted their time, right? There is nothing they can do for you at that point, and you disqualified yourself. Please don't ever do that. There is always a target market. So figure it out. Even if you think it's, hopefully this is going to go wide, you still would be focusing on who's that target market that they're going to spend the most money on. So budget determines the production range, the marketing, how you write the movie, especially when you're talking about the difference between low budget and high budget. So, okay, so here's the prompt. It's a pretty simple one. Well, actually, it's more complex. Here's the genre, concept, and synopsis. And I'm sorry, just a second here. Okay. Genre, concept, and synopsis. And by the way, you can use the transformational journey from your last one as the synopsis. I'm going to do that in just a second. For my upcoming screenplay, can you tell me the best audience, comps, and budget range that can increase the chance that the screenplay will get made into a movie? Here it defines audience, then it defines comps, then it defines budget range for the AI. So, and then we just fill in these three. So let me show you this just a second. Now, just a moment here. Oh, hang on. There's something else. I've got to go back over here and get this, my transformational journey. So if you're going to use the transformational journey from before, copy that first, go to your new chat window, put that in, and then get the prompt and put the prompt in second. So that way we've got all this information here. Now then I put the prompt above that. So there's the prompt with all those definitions in it, because that's really important. I'll take this stuff out. Here's my rom-com with the concept. The synopsis here is going to be the transformational journey. So there we go. Let's see what it does. Now, just watch this real quickly. So it gives me kind of who it thinks the audience is. For my story, it'd be adults in the 25 to 55 range. That's what it says. Tend to skews towards a more mature audience. All right. Gender preference would be relatively balanced because it's a rom-com, because it's both sides. Probably still, yeah, let's just say yes to that. Comps, because it's a time travel project, this one makes sense. The Time Traveler's Wife. About Time is another one. Both of these are romances with time travel. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that one I'm not really sure of as a good comp for this. But, you know, you could put it back in, ask it for 3 other comps, and see what it does. Budget range. On the indie budget level, it's saying around 5 to 10 million, possibly, yeah. Streamer budget, 10 to 20 million. Studio budget, the budget would go beyond 20 million easily. I'd say, it'd be around 30 plus or minus. So you don't have to have the perfect answers here. What this does is just give you an idea. By the way, if you're talking to an indie producer and you say probably 5 to 10 million, and they say, I could make it for 2, just say, oh, great. Don't argue with them. Don't try to figure out how to get them to make it for more money or any of those kinds of things. The main thing is get your movie made, right? So if you do that, if you get your movie made, if it's the first one and it's low budget, that doesn't make any difference. As soon as you get it made, you are now a produced screenwriter who has already worked with producers, already gone through the process. It is worth it. So let me give you the prompt here, and just a moment, and you can do this. I think this one's always kind of fun because it gives people a chance to like see things that they hadn't seen, see comps they hadn't seen, be able to look at possible budget ranges that they hadn't seen before. So I really like this one. Hang on, here we go. And there it is. So let me give you 3 minutes on that. You already have the information. Just go get your transformational journey, copy that first, put it into the chat, come back here, get this, fill in the genre and concept, and click return. And I can't wait to hear from you when we come back. So I'll give you 3 minutes on that. It's actually pretty simple. All right, come on back. We have one more. And when we put this together with all the others, it will give you pretty much everything you need to be able to pitch at a pretty high level. So here we go. This one, we're going to brainstorm possible titles. And let's just talk in general. The title needs to fit the movie. It needs to point to the concept. It needs to fit the genre, and it needs to be short and have impact. Please know the title is the most important single decision you're going to make. And this is important for you to understand. The title is 100% about marketing, right? Everybody from this point on, the moment your project comes out, everybody's going to refer to the title, including the media and on social media. So when somebody says, like if a producer says, wow, we need a better title, don't argue that you like your title. The only reason the producer is talking to you about the title is because it's probably the most important 2 or 3 words you've written in your lifetime. And if they don't immediately go, wow, great title, and they ask you to change it, do it. Say yes. Because again, they're in the market. They are constantly interacting with produce or with the studios, with the media, with everything. They've gone through this over and over and over, so it's incredibly important. Okay. By the way, this is also your 3-second elevator pitch. So, you know, if you end up standing next to a producer and they say, what are you working on? And you just simply say back, you know, I've got a thriller titled blah, blah, blah. And you stop right then. If your title is strong enough, they'll follow you out of the elevator and want to at least hear the pitch. So it is absolutely worth doing. Here's what the prompt looks like. I'm going to ask you to brainstorm titles for my screenplay. The purpose of the title is to make it easy to market the movie/show to audiences. When creating titles, please generate ideas that match the genre. So we're asking it to do exactly how you should be thinking about titles. That match the genre, point to the concept or main conflict, and fit the synopsis, which you're going to fill in, and are unique and unknown. Brainstorm 10 possible titles that are 1 to 4 words long, but don't use alliteration. I put this in at the end, don't use alliteration, because 80% of the titles it gives are alliteration. It's still going to give us maybe 30%, even though I put that in. So just wanted you to know that. So there we are. There's what you're going to fill in. Let's go do it. So let me show you on this one. I've already filled it in. What I did was first I went and got the transformational journey from the other window. Remember, that's what we worked on 2 prompts ago. So I filled in the transformational journey first. Then I got my genre, concept, and main conflict, put them up above that. And I filled in all of these. By the way, this is an important key right here. Do not judge this process based on the bad ideas. When you're looking at titles, you know, really, its job is to generate a whole bunch of ideas, of which most of them are going to be bad. You are only looking for the diamond. Before we were going for gold on titles, this is the diamond. So don't get yourself lost in a frame of going, no, 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 no. If you do that, you'll end up missing the one that could have been the best thing that ever happened to you. So here we go, just a second. And there's the prompt. that I just said. Let's see what it does. Now, by the way, notice, did you see the speed? So this gives you a chance to take a look at this, right? Timeless reunion. I don't know, that might be an interesting title for this. Who knows? Love across ages, maybe. Echoes of yesterday. Could. See, this is temporal tango. This is a alliteration. A second chance. I wouldn't do that. Fading regrets. Past perfect. Again, alliteration. Parallel hearts. Go through them. Here's what I would do with this one. I would put this one on in an email. I might put this one. I might put this one, because they're at least okay. So those three would go into whatever email I was working on, and then I'd come down here and I'd go, give me 10 more. And by the way, if there's something specific that you're looking for, say it. Give me 10 more that focus more on lost love. Give me 10 more that focus more on time travel, or whatever it is. But just that gets me 10 more. And again, I'm going to go through and consider them. And by the way, some of the best ideas that or the best titles that we've come up with had one word like here and a different word up here, and you put the two together and went, oh, that's a good idea, right? So that's also part of why you want to be open while you're doing this, because sometimes it's not just this, it's this and this or whatever. So, okay, that's it. This one's really easy. Hang on just a moment. I'll get it to you. Okay, let's put it in the prompt. And somebody asked a question and I don't know what they mean. First, it's in all caps. Please repeat what to type in for multiple titles. I'm not sure. Type this in order to get 10 titles. So here comes the prompt. Put that in. Take out the word prompt and the title up there, but put that whole thing in and let it generate 10 titles. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that, and then we will close this out. So ready, go. And by the way, if you have any questions at the end, happy to entertain them. Okay, everybody come on back. Couple of, oh, by the way, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat there. Let's see. Brian says, ChatGPT gave me reasons it thought the titles work. Okay, that helps. Angelina says, nice suggestions, really 2 words. My title, 1 word is not on the list. That's okay. You might have a great title that is 1 word. You might ask it if you want 1-word titles, you might want to ask it for that. But if you've already got stuff that's great, spectacular, keep the great stuff and then use this to brainstorm and elevate the rest of it. If you've got a pitch that's long, this gives you a way to be able to make it more precise. But the main thing that just happened was this, and let's go over here and you'll see it. Here's what we just did. We are focused entirely on increasing marketability. So every piece of the puzzle is something that a producer needs to see to be able to say yes to you, right? So if you can take a concept and make it 30% better or 50% better or more than that, that might quadruple your chance of breaking into this industry. If you come in with an incredible protagonist or an amazing antagonist, like if you think of Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, it's like, you know what? That kind of writing can create a career. If your lead character profiles are amazing, right? It's like all of this, every step of the way makes you much more attractive to this industry. All the way down to audience, comps, budget range, and titles. So this was our purpose, to give you all the things that most people bomb when they're answering these things. I have been at multiple pitch fest and watched where the producer just asked one of these questions and the writer killed their chance of success because they didn't have a great answer. So this gives you, ultimately, you will end up with great answers that will make you look like a pro, make your projects way more attractive to producers, and give you a real chance in life. So it is worth doing. Now, here's my final advice on this. First, here's what I would do. If you want to get this, if you want to have this be part of your life, in the next 3 days, try these prompts, 1 each day, and create a new project each day, right? And what that will do, and this is important, by brainstorming a new project in the next 24 hours, this will become something that you're comfortable with. Doing it 3 days in a row will make it something that now is part of your creative life. If you wait a week before you do this, it'll all seem brand new again, right? And you guys know this. You've probably experienced this before. There's something that you learn, and then if you don't use it, a week to 2 weeks later, you forgot it all. Really, take 10 minutes a day for the next 3 days, brainstorm 3 new projects before you decide which one to write, and then pick the best project. Do that 3 days in a row, you will have this and it'll become part of your creative process. I think there's one more thing I wanted to say. And then use this to create the most amazing projects you've ever written and to give yourself a chance at making it in this industry. And by the way, everything we did today, you can do that for books also. The vast majority of the books that are out there, and at one point we actually checked this. I had about 15 writers on a development team. We all went through, picked a genre, and went to Amazon and pulled up 1,000 different books for that genre. And it turned out that it was less than 0.5% that qualified according to what producers are looking for. 0.5%. So if you're going to write books, use this. Use this to generate the pitches for those books so that you have something that has a chance to be turned into a movie or a TV series. So with that, listen, I want to say thank you guys for being here with me. My hope is that this will become something that will make a huge, huge difference for your writing. And it will be posted tomorrow on our forums at screenwritingclasses.com. So if you need, the exact prompts, you'll have them in order of what we just did. So you'll be able to just go through and do them one right after another. So I'll stay around for a couple minutes for anybody who has questions, but for anybody who needs to leave, because we're getting close to midnight on the East Coast, I want to say again, thanks for being with me, and let's do this again sometimes. So looking forward to working with you. Bye-bye, everyone. By the way, if you have a question, go ahead and post it, and I'll be happy to answer that. Other than that, we will talk another time. It's dawn there. Moses must be in someplace in Europe. Danielle will be sending out information on that class as soon as we know. We're getting closer on it. We just need to find time frames that work for everybody. So people are back to work now in this industry, so we should be able to put that together soon. All right. Good talking with you all. Yes. And I will see you another time. Bye-bye, everyone.